Hi! Today I'm wearing the fall on me. It just fell on my head, and I thought I'm going to introduce you to the concept of being in the forest. I am actually in a park because, as you know, I have been here in Minneapolis for a couple of months. I had to come here, and to tell you the truth, I started with this minivan, thinking, okay, let's make it cheap. So if I don't like the lifestyle of being always on the road, I can undo that easily. And actually, I am in the city now and missing the road amazingly. It's so much missing, and I need to be on the road again. Luckily, it's in a couple of weeks I will be off already, so that's very good. And it's funny because while I am in the city, every little minute I have, I come here to this beautiful park that reminds me of the beautiful places I saw when I was on the road. So today I want to talk about what it means to be a nomad. And I always liked playing with words. You know, my main language is Spanish, and I studied English for many years, and I studied French and a little bit of Portuguese, a little bit of Italian. So I love languages. I love the power of expression, the power of our words. And there's so many things written about be careful with the way you use your words. Be careful with not saying, I hate this or I cannot do that. Those kind of things. You have heard of that. Because we determine what we are setting up for. If we are always in a positive mood and using positive words, we set ourselves for better things, for sure, because it's the power of determining what we want to do with our lives, which is very good. And so because of that love of words, I was somehow playing in my head with the concept of being a nomad. And I thought, in the end, for me, being a nomad is being no mad. I am not mad anymore. I am not angry at anything. I am not crazy about anything, because I have the freedom of getting in my driving seat in the car and start driving. I am free in that sense. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about that concept of being a nomad, and in my case, a nomad anymore. So let's see what my little brain came up with. Some people think starting this type of life, you make a huge trade-off, and you trade safety and the comfort of modern society and modern homes for a more complicated lifestyle, like being in a reduced space with less resources, not running water, for example, those kind of things. And actually, I think it is just the contrary. When we settle for the lifestyle of the home, the brick and mortar home with the safe walls around us, I feel like actually we are living in the middle of a city with all the conflicts that a city may bring and all the dangers, compared to being out there alone in the middle of nowhere, which in my world, in my way of seeing this, is way safer. And I feel, for me, it would be a trade-off to go back to living in a city, because I feel I would lose my freedom to choose where I want to be. So, and that right now is becoming extremely important for me. This new thing about being a nomad here in the United States and many other countries in the world, where people are posting their videos and Instagrams showing the fascinating life out there in the forests and everywhere, it feels like a new trend, and it's not. 98% of the time of human beings in history has been spent going from one place to another, because all of our ancestors were nomads at some point, following the trade roads, going from one place to another when there was droughts or anything, and looking for new places that would be better for them. Think of the pioneers, the colonizers, the wanderers, famous conquerors, cowboys. I mean, all those people were always nomads. I mean, the concept of being a nomad is not new. Absolutely not. Because many of us have the urge to wander. Many of us believe institutions are corrupted, because I am not going to ruin your day by reminding you that your credit card company wants you to spend more money, and so many other things. I'm not going to ruin your day thinking of that. But I feel our institutions have failed us, and regaining the freedom, for me, it's something interesting to think of. Another huge point is the boredom of the routines, the repeated routines. To me, going to work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever schedule you have, coming out of work, stopping at the supermarket to buy some groceries, getting home and preparing food, going to bed, starting again the following day, and again cooking again, washing your clothes, doing the same things over and over again. And we water our plants and we walk our pets, but it's always the same scenery around us, always the same routines. That, to me, was a little bit too much already. In his manifesto of contemporary nomadic philosophy, Edward Abbey talked extensively about those domestic routines, the degrading jobs many people have, because I don't need to expand on that, the arrogance of the elected officials. That one I particularly enjoy reading about, because it's true. I mean, once they get elected to either president or, I don't know, council of a teeny little town, they forget their roots. They become arrogant. They have the power. Avi also talked about the slimy advertising, and that one is fascinating, because advertising is, in my point of view, what makes us extremely unhappy, because advertising shows you how the parents who pick up the little girl from school and then they go exploring mountains covered in snow, and then they come back home on time for dinner, and in a world where everything is beautiful and perfect, you know it's not true. You know it's impossible. So instead of being able to keep it in the world where it belongs, the world of fantasy, we work harder to buy that car, the car that we saw this happy family going around in. I don't know. We want to buy that fantasy. We want to own that possibility of being free and coming back home to prepare dinner and water the plants again and walking the dog again. So advertising shows us that that pair of pants looks amazing on all of us, that we can stay at this very luxurious spa or hotel, and it is at our reach. Advertising undermines our capacity to be free with simple things. To me, I agree with Abby there. It's slimy advertising, and we spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in that world of fantasies where we cater to those ideas of, if I buy that car, I will be very happy. If I have that home, I will be very happy. And those things don't make us happy. The solution is not becoming a nomad. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, if you resent all those things, maybe becoming a nomad may be the answer for you. I don't know. I know it works for me. And then I thought, okay, being a nomad, is it being homeless? And I have heard many people on YouTube saying, no, it's just being houseless, which I agree with. We are not homeless. We can always choose to go back to brick and mortar, but we choose to be houseless so we are free. And when we talk with some of you about getting rid of our possessions, and when I say our possessions are like our ball and chain, our possessions really keep us down. They ground us. They don't let us fly. So if you want to become a nomad, that thing about getting rid of your possessions, that should be a joyful process, because you're buying your ticket to this kind of life. The problem is, the way I see it, is we are all scared of change. And change is a fascinating word. Remember when I told you I enjoy playing with words? Change is, and I agree with this, change is the only thing that never changes. Because even if we don't want to, we will go through changes. If we are very happy with something, at some point it will end or will evolve into something else. In my case, when I was transitioning from the house to the van, I embraced that change. I was actually nurturing that change for years when I was getting ready for this. And I embrace change. I am not afraid of change. Change can put us in a better situation. Change can take us to a new dimension. Change can mean that spark of enthusiasm when we discover something new. And what I have discovered over these very short months in which I have been a nomad and out there is those little things that humble you, like being in a forest like this one, and the colors of the fall and the breeze and the amazing mountain or whatever moves you. Those little things humble us. And in my case, they fill up my senses in the sense of satiating my curiosity. It's such a good feel. It's so much better than being just inside of a house. And what is amazingly great is this sense of self-reliance. There is a crazy squirrel behind me. It's so cute. This sense of self-reliance. That is amazing because you depend on you. And for some people, it may be scary, but it's not. It's so liberating. The sense of you can do it, and you can do it for you. So you take yourself to beautiful places. You take yourself to peaceful sites. You take yourself to wonderful experiences, like sitting under a tree to read a book. It can be amazing. So that sense of self-reliance feeds your self-esteem, because now you are the one who holds yourself up. So you don't need the publicity of the amazing pair of trousers that is going to make you look amazing. You feel amazing without that. You did it for yourself. You got rid of your things to become a nomad, and you got it, and you conquered that amazing feeling of, hey, I am the owner of myself and my actions and where I go and where I don't go. That is a great sense of freedom. We know that if we try to define the word freedom very, very finely, yeah, freedom only so much, but still, it is important to feel that you're free and to take advantage of all the things your environment offers you. For example, when I was up in the mountains in Colorado, I started noticing that every day at about 3 p.m. or so, it would get stormy and I could hear thunder, and occasionally it would rain. So instead of being out there risking being hit by thunder, well, by lightning, I started taking profit of that situation. So every day at about 3 p.m., when it started storming, rumbling, getting dark, I would take a beautiful nap every day. And taking advantage of that amazing feel of, okay, the storm is coming, time for naps. Thoreau wrote extensively about exposing yourself to a simpler type of life. Why? Because if we face only the essential facts of life, if we carry a humble and simple existence, our spirit feels so much better. We feel so much better because we reduce the stress from whatever to zero. Because a simple life is what is natural to us. And that is going to give us another gift, which is the capacity to take care of our planet. Because if we live a simpler life, we don't need as much plastic, we don't need as much anything. We live simpler and simpler. And I promise At least to me, that is the big deal about being a nomad. It's not feeling like an outsider, it's not feeling like you failed and you cannot live in society anymore, as many people may suggest. It's not the consciousness of, if I am not in a house, I am a failure. If I don't have an 8 to 4 job, I am a failure. No, it's not that. Because, among other things, we are so disconnected to nature. We can go back to nature, and of course, life in the wild requires you to take better care of yourself, but that is also good. And all of those factors make me a nomad. I am so happy I don't have to abide by structures or hours or timelines or stress. I can be in nature and I can be wherever I want. Of course, I mean, we are not superwoman, so I can only be in some places, but still, I choose where to be. Like here, for example, I am in this beautiful park in the middle of the city, and you will hear the noise of the cars and people around, but at least I have like 90% of my day among the trees, which is one of my favorite places to be at. And that is what the nomad life gives me, the capacity of not being mad, not being running all day to achieve things that I don't need. Because yes, I can make money and stuff my closets with things, but I don't need that. So I am happier this way. If you're about to become a nomad, please share your experience. If you are already a nomad, share what your highlights are, what things you love the best, what things make you think about this type of life, or what things made you choose this type of life. Some people are running away from bad situations. Some people are just enjoying being free. Some people are just looking for a less expensive way of living. Whatever your situation is, we all find loving the same things, loving the freedom, loving being outside, enjoying nature, and being the same. No mads. If you enjoy these videos, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video with someone that is maybe thinking of packing up and going on the road, or just be here next week. I will show you something new.